What is your beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask.
I don't know what that was about, but I don't know why I played twice. But what's up, everyone? Welcome to Movie Madness and Entertainment. Obviously, this is DC Madness, another episode with me as the host, talking about DC. Since again, every time we talk about DC, it's always a hassle, always people fighting. But when it comes to me, my format, I'm more calm in nature. I'm more positive. I'm more let me anyone can speak their minds. Everyone just be respectful, whatever else. But again, I will talk about topics that are kind of like, well, people might say some hot takes or whatever else, or it might get into like a fight, but nothing that crazy. But yeah, I know everyone liked it from the first episode, so I thought to myself, I might as well keep it up, keep up this nice energy, this positive energy. Even though the topic in question might not be, everyone's cup of tea about the DCU, but I'm here with Diao, and yes, other people might show up later, another, more of the panelists or whatever else. But so I guess we could get to the topic. I guess if you're ready, Diao,
Oh, let's do it. Let's piss some people off today.
But yeah, what's up, everyone in the chat? So when it comes to James Gunn, lots of people are half and half about the DCU, about the reboot, because the DCEU, I thought it was salvageable. I thought there was probably a chance that they could save the universe, and with Henry Cavill back as Superman, etc. Maybe get another Justice League movie in there, but I guess that wasn't the plan. Lots of people were saying no, the DCU was garbage. It was garbage from beginning to end. We needed to end the universe. And look, even though I like the universe, yes, there was lots of baggage. There was lots of movies that weren't good. Lots of movies were inconsistent when it comes to box office. Very inconsistent. Yes, yeah, good ratings are good from critics and the general audience. From the same time, if these movies aren't performing well, what's the point of making sequels or spin-offs or whatever else? But I don't know how you think about the DCEU, but I guess I'll ask you right now.
Well, I'm one of the very few DCEU defenders out there. I've enjoyed what they've been doing. I do acknowledge that there's a lot of problems with the DC films since the beginning. Though I make no secret that Henry Cavill's Superman is my favorite live action Superman. I love Man of Steel. To this day, it's still my favorite film of the DCEU. And I love the Snyder Cut. I thought it was great. And of course, after seeing it, I wanted to see Justice League 2 and 3. But as for the other DC films, I've enjoyed more of the DC films than not enjoyed them. But regardless of how much I've enjoyed them, I can't deny that it's been a mess since the beginning. It's been all over the place as far as direction and the portrayals of characters, and you brought it up. The box office was not doing as well as they wanted to. Yes, you had some successes here and there, like the first Wonder Woman movie and Aquaman. But these weren't pulling in a profit that they wanted to. The only two films that really was successful critically and financially on both regards was The Batman and Joker, and those two movies aren't even in the DC universe. So that kind of tells you something. And from the beginning, it's been controversial as far as with fans of DC and the general movie-going audience. There's been a lot of heat towards these portrayals of the characters. So I see, I'm with you where I was hoping they could figure out a way to fix what we already have, take the actors that we have now in the universe. I was hoping that they could figure out a way to fix it and make it more coherent, but we got to look at it for how it is. And it, even if they did try to fix it, you'll still have that a good amount of the movie going audience and fans that feel like these portrayals of the characters are damaged. There's no fixing it for certain people, or they're always going to be reminded of the films that didn't work, even if they appear in movies that have better writing and like the portrayal of the characters are better, they're always going to be tainted by the Snyderverse stuff. And I like the Snyderverse stuff, but like it hasn't been loved by everybody. Let's be real. Like, we are a vocal minority that say that these are great movies, or people that really enjoy these movies. Like, we're not as big as we think we are. It's sad for me to say. So it's like, I'm okay with James Gunn wanting to start from scratch, because I can't even imagine coming into DC, running everything, and like even attempting to try to fix the mess that's already been here. So I think it's better that they do have a clean slate, so we can just start from the beginning and get fresh portrayals of the characters and not have that baggage looming in.
Yeah, no, I agree. And look, when it comes to the reboot, I don't want it, but at the same time, I have faith in it. I think proper planning and taking your time is better. Because I'm sorry, WB really rushed the DCU just to get that Marvel money. They really rushed it. How do you go from Man of Steel to BVS to Suicide Squad? It's like, come on, bro. The first three are like that. And the thing about BVS is, it's like, I'm sorry, rushing the Justice League getting together. Having so many. That's a Superman. The Nightmare timeline with Steppenwolf and Darkseid, Latin Invasion, the Justice League cameos. It's like, they tease lots of stuff. But when it comes to the Snyderverse is dead, the thing about it is when we look, I never really considered the Snyderverse to even be an official term. I thought the Snyderverse was a Justice League arc within the DCU itself. Them fighting Darkseid and whatever else was going on. That was just one arc within the actual cinematic extended universe. But look, I accept that the DCU was dead. I mean, everyone's getting recasted. It's a reboot. Now we just wait and see what James Gunn reveals next month. I'm pretty sure he only said a couple of projects, so I really don't know what the hell's going to go on. Again, no, DC definitely is not dead. I do not consider the brand dead. Yes, the cinematic universe needs. And look, this will set us back, because lots of people will make fun of us. Obviously, like back in 2016, 17, DC's garbage, DC's ass, etc. Now, people will be like, well, DC is so garbage that they have to reboot. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, whatever, guys. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see the debates and the debacles that are gonna, happen during this period of rebranding and rebooting and structuring how they want the cinematic universe to be with James Gunn and Peter Safran. Again, it could be good. It could be bad. I know people are saying, "Oh, why are you having trust in James Gunn?" Or look at James Gunn's style or tones when it comes to his films. Look, yes, he likes potty humor. Yes, he likes comedies, but still, it's like he's more than that. He's a director that can give us emotion. He can give us depth when it comes to characters, character development, character progression. And the thing you have to realize is he's going to oversee a bunch of projects, obviously, since he's co-head. But at the same time, he's only going to write and direct a select few. And at the same time, I know people are complaining about him writing the Superman movie. But the thing about that is, think about it. That Superman movie is to be very important to the DCU, not just because Superman of how grand he is of a character, but that's going to be like one of the foundations of the universe itself. So obviously he has to be hands-on. I mean, the same thing. I kind of expect the Batman movie to show up in the DCU as well, because that's how important. Because imagine this, both of their top tier characters were missing for 5 years, man. They couldn't get Batman on the big screen in your universe. The Batman's something else, and the same thing for Superman. And once Superman comes back, they say, never mind, we're gonna do a do-over, just get out of here, Cavill, try to beg Netflix to, work with you again. It's like, I don't know if I'm sounding crazy or not, but I really feel like, no, that's the reason why James Gunn has to be hands-on with these bigger top-tier characters to lay the foundations. And I believe after that, she's gonna go back to the C-listers, the B-listers, and the D-listers. But I don't know what you think about this.
Well, as I said before, I love me some Henry Cavill as Superman. And after his mid-credit scene in Black Adam, it gave me hope that we're gonna get more movies from him, and it's gonna be in a different direction. And this time we'll be able to actually see him embrace the character of Superman. That the writing will actually like serve him justice. But like, I'm upset. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit upset that they cut him short. Especially because we've been pleading or I'm sure a lot of us were pleading and begging for another Henry Cavill Superman movie. And it's like it just seems so ridiculous that they sidelined Superman and they somewhat sidelined Batman, but they have Matt Reeves stuff. So technically, Batman was still being talked about as far as that. But we had no standalone Superman movie since 2013 in their DCEU, which was
that's
ridiculous.
embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
That's very embarrassing. Like, regardless of what people wanted to feel about him in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and Justice League, like Superman is one of your most important characters in DC. Like, the main tentpoles of this universe is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They should be the main people to carry the universe, and it just was strange that they just put them to the side because they didn't know what to do with them. And it's like, it's just really disappointing to me. And so, like, as far as James Gunn wanting to, not use him anymore, they want to start fresh. I mean, like I said before, I don't blame him, because, like, as I said, like, Henry Cavill Superman, as much as I love him, he's carrying a lot of baggage, and like, it just, and I guess he wants to have a universe start out fresh, because, like, with Henry Cavill, I've been saying before that he's pushing 40, and he's thinking of a 10-year plan with DC. And I know people will argue with me that Henry Cavill looks great as 40. He can do another 20, 30 years. Can he? Like, I mean, yes, we can probably get a couple more movies out of him, but for him to play Superman for the next 10 years, I don't know. That's stretching it, and it's not like Henry Cavill doesn't have other like priorities as well. So I'm sure he, like, with James Gunn, when he's thinking about playing this universe, he wants to have younger actors, I would say, like, not like 20s, but maybe like 30s, I guess. He's thinking of the longevity of these actors, and Henry Cavill, I don't know how long he would be able to stay in the universe per se, as much as I want him to do it. Like, even when he was first starting to come back, I didn't expect him to have, to have like a slur of movies. I was thinking maybe he would get maybe 1, 2, 3 more movies at the most, but I didn't expect for him to have this longevity. But James Gunn was not my first choice to run DC. I'm not gonna lie, but I can't deny that he's a really great storyteller. I love what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is some of my favorite movies in the MCU. And then he came in and did the Suicide Squad, and I thought that was great. One of the best DC films that came out. And it's a shame that it had to suffer through the day and date release stuff, and it was coming off of the 2016 Suicide Squad. So it's being unfairly compared to that. But what I see from James Gunn is that he understands comic books. I think he somewhat has an understanding of these characters. So I'm sure that James Gunn, with writing Superman, he knows how important it is to get this Superman right. I'm sure he's not going to put his exact like style and like humor on this Superman. He's not going to have everything feel like the exact same thing. I'm sure he's going into this knowing that he needs to get this right. And it's already a good side to me that, like, one of the first projects he's talking about is Superman. So, and he said, and when we see him being very active on Twitter, and people ask like if Batman is important, he said Batman's really important as well. So it seems to me that James Gunn knows that Batman, Superman, and hopefully Wonder Woman, that he knows that those are the characters we need to get right. They need to be in the center of this universe. So I'm open to seeing what this version of Superman is going to be. I envy whatever actor they're going to get for him. I envy him so much, because the Henry Cavill fans are going to be looking at him with a microscopic lens, being like, "You better get it right. You better be great as Superman." Hey, what's up, Blue Jay? But Yeah, I mean, I'm open to seeing what he does. This comes from the Henry Cavill Superman fan. I'm open to seeing what James Gunn does because I trust him as a storyteller. So
No, I do agree, and yes, I mean, Blue Jay will get your thoughts after this. But going back to the main topic, look, it's true. How the hell do you sideline two of your greatest heroes, and then people weren't even sure about the third movie for Wonder Woman because of the second one it was so divisive. People were saying, why bother with this franchise anymore? The director has to go. We need a director that hasn't been with us in years to come back. People were saying that stuff as well. But look, DCU has always been a mess. Why do you keep? Why do you guys keep? No, what was I gonna say? I can't see, my train of thought was gone. Why do I keep saying this? That they had to resort to standalone films because they just didn't want the connectivity anymore. Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman 84, the Suicide Squad. All of it was restricted to a corner of the actual greater universe because they didn't want to bother. After Justice League, how the hell does a Justice League movie flop, man? That's crazy to even think about.
and then one of your biggest success stories, Wonder Woman, and then you followed it up with Wonder Woman 84, that you just killed. You almost killed any confidence in the DC universe after that. Like after Wonder Woman 84, anything goes now. So like we don't know what we're gonna get. And then Black Adam, once again, did do as well as we wanted to, and they got Henry Cavill back. So what does that tell you? Like, what does that tell you?
Oh, I agree. And Blue Jay, you want to give your thoughts about all this?
This is gonna be this whole stream's gonna be a thing, huh? The DC Madness thing first.
Yeah, for a while at least.
Yeah. I like Cavill as Superman. I do like Man of Steel. I do like it a lot. That I thought it was gonna be. I'm one of those people that wasn't a fan of the whole like Snyder's take on DC stuff, but I do see there will be like a way that they were like there could have been like a smoother way to continue it, like Justice League, bombed hard, which is crazy to think about. Like you would have think $1 billion easily. Or maybe 2 billion. I don't know. Someone said 2 billion. I could have there would have been a way to continue the those characters and those actors the way that they were introduced. I do think that the whole like with Aquaman, Shazam, I kind of saw them as like stepping stones to like, okay, we had Justice League, we had this whole crap going on. I think they were trying to take their time, but they don't know where they were gonna go with. But because they have so much like they have people leaving DC, going in DC, like Walter Hamada in the mix. I think there was a way they were trying to make a path forward in my eye, but we don't even know what they were going to do in the first place. So that's just how I see it. But the whole thing with James Gunn, yeah, James, you're right. James Gunn is not my first choice, but it's probably a better choice. I don't know who else would take the job to run DC. Like who else? You got Dan Lin coming in, but he that went south. So yeah, I think the Gunn would knock it out of the park in my opinion. People saying like, "Oh, James Gunn's the funny man because he did Guardians and the Suicide Squad." I was like, you haven't seen his other films. He did way like other things than just being the funny man. So I do see that there's going to be a path forward with James Gunn in the helm and Peter Safran too.
You're right.
I do think that Superman. I think this Superman is going to be good. Well, in terms of we don't know yet, but this Superman film is going to be handled with care, in my personal opinion, because I know people have their resentment with Gunn, with his type of style, but I don't think they're going to make him a goofball, like some Superman 4 Quest for Peace type shit, something like that.
I know. I know RJ compared it one time that they might go the route of the animated film Man of Tomorrow and then how Superman was in Superman the animated series. I could see something like that happening for live action the DCU. Again, that stuff was actually quality. Don't say it was
honestly,
lesser. That was
I don't
quality.
have a problem. Yeah, I
That's
don't
the
have a
That
problem with that.
I'm down with, because I actually like Batman the animated series, Superman, and the Justice League show, Unlimited, of course. But I like the Bruce Timm. I like the Bruce Timm stuff.
Yeah, in
So
my opinion, like I think that should be the standard that this universe is setting. I think even James Gunn said that this new universe is going to be inspired by the animated universe, and even to this day, even though I like the DCU, I like Snyder's DC movies, I still think the animated universe is better than those.
exactly, like
Like
I've been watching those shows on HBO Max all the time. I was like, if I'm bored, I watch like an episode. It's like that was some good shit.
yeah.
No, I agree. And going by that, no, James Gunn, I'm pretty sure he did claim that to build a universe at least. I don't know if he's really going to take inspiration from how, the aesthetic was of these characters. But no, he said he took inspiration from Young Justice, the Justice League cartoons, Justice League Unlimited. So that's from the world building perspective. No, that's pretty good. That means we're going to get a long range of different characters, different comedy, brooding, and rated R, freaking more serious in tone, dark, gritty. Because I know people look, DC can be ranged. I know people are saying Gunn is going to ruin it with comedy, but I don't think so. He knows what works with some characters, and he knows what works with what doesn't work with other characters. I mean,
Yeah,
but
when it comes to Gunn, he did Guardians are like Z-list, B-list, D-list characters, and the Suicide Squad is full of D-list, Z-list characters, and there might be a way, but you can't take Polka Dot Man seriously. You just can't. You can't do a Zack Snyder directed Polka Dot Man film, and you're trying to get audiences behind it. Like, come on now, there's no way. Like, I think with Superman, he's an A+ tier character. I think they're gonna handle with care.
No, I agree. No, he has to start off strong, and we'll get to it later about what do you think he's gonna announce, or what do you think the slate will be. But again, that's the benefit of it when you talk about people like Polka Dot Man. Even though I don't think he'll use them again, but other characters around the B, C, D range, it's like, well, think about it. The cinematic universe, obviously theatrical. Television shows on HBO Max. I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn includes DC specials as well on HBO Max. Animation that's going to be canon to this universe on HBO Max, I'm guessing as well. Maybe I want theatrical, big blockbuster animated DC films, but I don't know if James Gunn really wants. I mean, besides Super Pets, it's like I don't know if he really wants to have like some Disney quality stuff when it comes to DC animation. And also video games are going to be canon as well. No, DC is not that. This is a unique time to tell ourselves, well, he's really trying hard to sell us on, no, this universe could be something unique. It's gonna be something grand. I'm gonna give you my best shot. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I don't think they'll go the path of rebooting again after this time, because that definitely would ruin DC.
No, yeah, this is make or break.
It is.
People think DC is like doomed and gloom. It's like we don't know. Like, we have to just wait and see what their plans are. Like, whatever Gunn and Safran unleash their plans, or maybe they just show like the logo of their upcoming films. We don't know what they're going to do. We have to wait till like January to see what their plans are. Like, we just I mean, I get it. We're all impatient. I know we're patient. We want more out of this thing, but just take your time, just be patient.
Yeah,
there's other things there's other things that, like, I'm sure there's people that like other things other than DC. There's something you can actually, watch another movie or play a game or something. Like, calm down, everybody. We're all gonna be okay. It's not gonna be the end of the world.
And I agree with what Crazy Joe is saying. Look what he did for the Guardians and Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. That's a moneymaker right there. I mean, I'm pretty sure the third movie is going to be successful. And I know DC fans, or at least a portion of them from a specific fandom, keep saying, what about the Suicide Squad? Didn't it flop? Yes, it did flop. You know why? First of all, it's rated R, so it will definitely be restricted in theaters. Second of all, it premiered on HBO Max a day before theatrical. And again, it was coming off a movie that was let's be honest. I think it's likable, but I still think it's trash, the first one, even though I think it's likable.
Yeah, the first Suicide Squad was a mess. It was
when it comes to the Suicide Squad, it was a hit on HBO Max as well. The same thing for Peacemaker, an exclusive first ever DCU show on HBO Max was successful as well. So that's probably why the company, and look, nobody wanted the job anyway, because James Gunn and Peter Safran were actually advisors about who should be the DC Studios boss. But I guess since nobody wanted it, I guess they had to go to them. But again, these people, I doubt they had been taking their time saying, okay, what do the fans want to see? Because they would consider that as well. And James Gunn doesn't tease, stuff on I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound like those specific fans, but look, he's been teasing stuff. He's been telling fans, what do you want to see? What might I do in the future that you guys will be interested in? I wouldn't doubt that he really throws in our thoughts about what characters we should see. I mean, Booster Gold is a good example. I'm pretty sure he did like a poll or some shit like that on Mastodon or whatever that site's called. And he was like, "Oh, I'm surprised."
Mastodon, something like
yeah,
that.
Mastodon. I'm surprised lots of people like Booster Gold. That's kind of curious. But again, when it comes to James Gunn, I think he has an ideal plan. I think he'll stick to it. Yes, he's only in a 4-year contract, even though it's a 10-year plan. But again, I think he's just there to build the foundations and make sure the universe is successful. And again, I don't think he'll take an extension. I don't think he's gonna be like Feige, being there since the beginning all the way to the end.
Well, if it's successful, I hope he does. I hope he does stay for a little longer. Yeah.
But again, I think he might just want to focus on just being a director again and just making movies. Because again, look, he's trying to do a dual thing, even though I think that's gonna be difficult. Overseeing every project, but at the same time you want to direct and make your own stuff as well. I don't know. He's gonna have to juggle lots of stuff. But no, I have faith in him. We just gotta wait and see. I think HBO Max is definitely Max. I guess is what it's going to be called now. It might be successful when it starts filling it with. Because Zaslav, I know he doesn't like streaming movies. I know he doesn't like any of that stuff. More high profile stuff. He rather have it theatrical. But I think HBO Max could be great again if they start filling it out with DC stuff that will work. The same thing for animation. Again, people have to realize that people will show up and buy that stuff. Video games are still popular, especially superhero games. Look at the Arkham series, the PlayStation Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure lots of people will buy the new Suicide Squad game when it comes out. No, imagine canon stuff like that for extended universe. I mean, that makes me think of the Star Wars Fallen Jedi franchise.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. Fallen Order. And then Survivor's coming out soon. It's like, that stuff is canon. Look, and it does great in the sales. People want to know how it fits into the greater story of Star Wars. But, if video games aren't for you, then the animation will be there as well, for people to watch these shows and say, oh, so that's how it fits in. This is the lore of the background of some of these characters. Because I feel like we'll have references to the video games and the specific video games and shows or wherever else, animated and live action. So again, that's why you have to watch all of it. Think of it of like the MCU shows on Disney Plus. You have to watch them, or not. You might not know some things that might happen once these characters transition to theatrical. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
My only concern with the video games is that not everybody plays video games, so I hope they don't put like really significant stuff in the video games where people has to play them in order to understand other movies that are going on, because that was something that the Matrix went through, and it suffered because of that. And one of the reasons why the Matrix franchise suffered was because they put important stuff in video games, and then when you get to the movies and stuff happens, it's like, wait, why did this happen? Well, if you played Enter the Matrix or the Matrix Online, these events happen. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But
yeah, that's too in bit. Like, okay, the animation stuff, okay, I can get behind that because you can kind of get away with that. But with video games, that's too ambitious, if you ask me. Like, trying to connect the games and stuff. Like, I mean, there could be a way to say like, oh, maybe there might be some sort of like side quests that one of the characters have, but that'd be a little too arbitrary to make it a game. To like make it a side mission that doesn't have no consequential to the actual main storyline they're trying to tell, or a main saga or something, whatever. It'll be like, it's still like, I just need to know how they're gonna pull it off with the whole game stuff. But
yeah.
with the whole animation. But the animation stuff, I can see there's a way. You know, they could make a like their version of what Marvel's doing with What If or Spider-Man freshman year or whatever.
Yeah, and I get that. And lots of people play video games. Lots of people watch cartoons. I get it. So, DC fans vary in ages as well. So, the more older fans might not say, well, I don't play video games. I don't watch cartoons. So it's going to be hard to me to really, focus on that stuff when I just care about the live action stuff. Again, I guess that's what the internet's for. Just do your research and see what happens, how the plot progresses. That's all I can really say if you don't want to play video games or watch cartoons. Because again, some of that stuff might end up being important. I mean, I keep referencing Star Wars because that stuff is important. The Clone Wars era stuff with Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, the Rebel stuff with Ezra. All that stuff is important. Look at now Star Wars is adapting that stuff for live action with the Ahsoka show, with the Rebel stuff in it as well, and whatever else. It's like, come on, guys. Either you just do your research and see what's available to you, or just consider expanding your preferences when it comes to engaging DC content, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good example with the Star Wars stuff, because like for me personally, like Clone Wars is one of the best Star Wars content out there, and it had really important events there with big characters. So there's a way they can do that. The only thing is, like with Jedi Fallen Order, even though that is technically canon to the Star Wars universe, there hasn't been anything that happened in Jedi Fallen Order where it's like you have to know what goes on there to understand what happens in the live action stuff. So I'm wondering if and when they decide to incorporate stuff from Jedi Fallen Order into shows or movies, if that will eventually happen. I don't know.
We'll probably get like a Plastic Man game, something like that.
No, it needs to be a Plastic Man show or movie. If there was any project that I want James Gunn to overhelm, Plastic Man. That is his destiny. He needs to do a Plastic Man project. Please, James, give it to us.
No, I agree, and I mention this all the time about the cartoons and video games. Make sure, if I was James Gunn, make sure you pick the people, because actors can do kind of well when it comes to voice acting as well. Maybe it's a different medium for them, but it's still acting in the bottom line. But cast the people that you will want to have them as to portray those characters in live action as well. So use the likeness of those people, use obviously their voices, but pick the people that you want to transition to live action, because Star Wars never did that. They just picked the voice actors because they never thought they would actually be in live action. Look what happened. I mean, Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, not this woman, and some of the other characters as well. So that's why you have to, in my opinion, pick the people you want in both mediums. But again, pretty much that's pretty much it when it comes to the video game and cartoon stuff. Because again, we don't know what's going to happen. Yes, for the people who are going to be like, well, I don't want to keep up with this stuff, there'll still be separate stuff that's not canon to any universe. You just have to wait and see. I think right now is a good time to transition to what do you think he's going to announce, or what would you want to see, or what do you think is best for DC right now when trying to rebuild and start a new universe?
Now, my question is, what kind of movies? What's your predictions for their slate? Like just a little fun part. Like what movies do you think they'll kind of predict? Because I'm thinking like, okay, Superman, okay, but what about the other films? Like they can't just announce another Wonder Woman while everybody's still thinking about Gal Gadot. There probably have to be like another character. So maybe Green Lantern or I don't know, Green Arrow or whatever.
You say that, but look what they did with Henry Cavill. They cared.
Yeah,
they
they
gave
killed
no
him.
announcing a new Superman movie. They gave no.
Okay, true. But I mean, like, okay, well, we know there was a Superman film, but what about the others? Like, okay, Green Lantern, because we haven't had a Green Lantern film since 2011. Like 12, 13 years or something. Well, no, 12 years.
I'll say this, because even I was thinking about that when it comes to Green Lanterns. I know for a fact the DCEU did not care about the Green Lanterns at all. They announced the movie and the show back in 2018, then nothing. I know yesterday, I believe, people were saying that Jon Stewart Green Lantern show on HBO Max was canceled, but now I think today James Gunn said no, it's fake or whatever. So it's like, I guess, are we gonna get a DCU canon Green Lantern Jon Stewart show then? Because look, the DCEU, then again, they did not care about the Green Lanterns. I mean, look at the Snyder Cut for a good example. They took out Jon Stewart just to say, no, we have plans for the character. Okay, where are their plans then?
Yeah, do something.
I don't see shit then. You say he took it out or he threatened to not release the movie because he was in it. But then, like 2 years later, we haven't seen shit from the show that was announced back in 2018. That's the problem with WB back in the day. They announced so much shit that didn't happen. The Amazons, the Trench, New Gods, a Plastic Man movie, a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie, Nightwing, the Batman, the original Batman, Man of Steel 2, Justice League 2 and 3.
The Spielberg Blackhawks movie.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
That sounded interesting, to be honest with you.
I guess apparently we were supposed to get like a Hawkman movie as well, but it didn't happen. Black Adam 2,
Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the sequel to The Flash is effed. The sequel to Black Adam is effed, and the sequel to Aquaman and Lost Kingdoms effed already. You know that we already know for a fact that's not gonna happen. Oh yeah, the Batman Beyond stuff with Keaton. I did not look. I was so shocked because I heard about the movie first. I was like, what the hell? Well, I guess it is what it is. But once I heard it was Batman Beyond, I got so mad. I was like, fuck, man. Michael Keaton would have been perfect for Batman Beyond.
Yeah, but if it was going to take place in modern day, I don't want to see that. I do not want to see that. It needs to be in the distant future. You know, it's cyberpunk stuff. Like, I do not want to see present day Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton.
No, I agree because I'm pretty sure someone was saying it was supposed to be canon to the DCEU like once because everyone knows this is common knowledge. I'm sorry for the people who keep saying it's not, but yes, Ben Affleck was meant to be a race in the Flash movie. Then Michael Keaton was supposed to be the main DCEU Batman after that. Why do you think he was in Batgirl and why do you think he had a cameo in Aquaman before they took it out? He was meant to be the main DCU Batman. I don't agree with that, but they already had solid plans for him, or for at least Walter Armada. I know they were planning a Crisis movie. I don't know if Ben Affleck would have came back, because that's when they meant Henry Cavill to come back as Superman as well. But then The Rock was like, no, let me have him in my movie. You know, I need the box office to exceed, even though it didn't, and the movie underperformed. It barely broke even, but still, they had their plans for these characters. It's just that it was definitely messy. Again, I think they could still do that movie. I wouldn't mind the Elseworld story, just that it has to take place in his world, you know, where they could say, well, you know, technology can advance. I know people were saying they're going to have Leslie Grace as instead of Terry McGinnis for that story, you know, being the main bad person after he retires. I was like, look, you know, I'm sorry that Batgirl got canceled. I was disappointed when that happened, but at the same time, I did not want that to happen.
I actually one of those people that actually was looking forward to it because I actually watched In the Heights because I actually like Leslie Grace and I was excited for it being as Batgirl. But when the candid, I was like, that's impossible and that's so stupid. I was like, yes, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then nothing is safe at this point. But you know, it's okay. You know, I want to see more. What's best for DC and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Leslie Grace too. I saw her in The Heights as well. I thought she was really good, but I was actually one of those people that was really apprehensive about this Batgirl movie because they were making a Batgirl movie when we didn't fully establish who was the main Batman of the DC universe, and then all those plans with Michael Keaton being the main Batman of the DCU, which I thought made no sense whatsoever, and then the future plans of making her a Batman Beyond-ish type of character, that was just nonsense. This is the type of stuff that the old regime was doing with DC, just literally throwing stuff at a wall and hoping stuff will stick, and then hearing the reports that the movie isn't even that good. So we would have had another DC property that would taint the franchise again. And this is the first time we've gotten Batgirl in live action since Batman and Robin. And you're going to come out with some mediocre shit? Like, no. Part of me is kind of glad it got canceled if it was trash.
I can't agree with that, man.
I know it's hot, but it's I gotta be real. Like, I'm just looking at all the red flags with this movie. As much as I like the people involved, even the directors, I like the directors because they did Bad Boys 3 and I really enjoyed that, and they did the couple of episodes of Miss Marvel and that was really good too. So like, I don't have anything against the creatives or the actors involved, but just the foundation of making this movie made no sense to me.
And again, just to clarify, it was not the director's fault that they had to use Michael Keaton as Batman. It made sense because of the Flash movie. They had to use him. If anything, if Ben Affleck would have stayed as the main Batman, he probably would have been in the movie, you know, with Leslie as Batgirl. When it comes to Batfleck in the Flash, no, he's still in the Flash. For people who remember, remember that leaked action bat cycle sequence leaked out, and people were like, "Oh, he's gonna have an action scene in the movie." As far as I know, he's in the beginning of the movie. Something that people, I don't know if they saw it when it broke on Twitter that no, they took out Henry Cavill's cameo in the Flash, and I'm pretty sure Gal is supposed to be in the movie as well. But people are saying they took out her cameo as well. But people are going back and forth about it. But look, it shows you that they're not going to promise more anymore. They're trying to make us realize that this universe is over, because if we keep showing cameos or references, it's going to feel like we're still trying to, or WB still trying to drag out this path they have for this extended universe. I mean, again, Michael Keaton in Aquaman Lost Kingdom, his cameos got cut. The same thing for Ben Affleck, his cameo got cut. So no, they're trying to make us realize that these actors are done. We're not going to give you anything else that was promised in the past or promised in the future, I guess.
I mean, which I guess is kind of a shame, because like I wish we could have just got these last few moments with these actors before we say bye to them, just as like a swan song or an epilogue or something, unofficial epilogue, just to see Cavill and Godot and Ben Affleck just one more time. I mean, we're gonna see Affleck in the Flash, so that would be fine. But like, I just wish they just kept the footage they had with Cavill and stuff with the remaining moves we're gonna get, just to be like goodbye, It's like, oh, it's gonna be sad, but it is what it is. I see why they cut them out. So as you said.
Yeah, and I think Gal is supposed to be in Shazam, but I think her role is too important for it to be cut. But again, the connectivity factor when it comes to this remaining slate of DCU films is gone. And, they're not going to promise anything. It makes sense, because the general audience probably won't even know what that was going on if they, because I mean, never mind, because the general audience didn't even show up for Black Adam when Henry Cavill came back. So I was gonna make a point about, they're probably gonna be confused about, is this a multiversal shit, or like, what's going on? Like, did something progress while we didn't, like the last film? I mean, they'll probably be confused, because there's been so many standalone films and no connectivity when it comes to the DCU, that I'll probably say, I guess I just missed the last one. Maybe I had to go back and see what's going on. Oh, never mind. This film is standalone. So what the hell is going on? Why is Michael Keaton the main Batman? Why is Ben Affleck, a race? Why is Keaton the bad girl? Why is, Cavill's back in Flash? And how? Like, did I miss his return in Man of Steel 2? What's going on, man? Like, very confusing shit to even talk about.
Yeah, just as we just said before, it's just all over the place. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know what to do with these characters. They don't understand half of these characters. Like, Lily throwing stuff at a wall and hoping something sticks. And like, this was your chance to prove that you can do a better job than Snyder, since you guys are pretty much trying to bury Snyder stuff. This was your chance to redeem everything, to fix something somewhat, and you did doing this. It was more of a mess than what Snyder had originally. Like, so I just, yeah.
His ass is gone.
There could have been a way to like try to like continue them. There could have been a smoother way to continue them. Okay, you could have started with Aquaman, Shazam. Maybe try for Birds of Prey, but Birds of Prey was just okay. It was just
Birds of Prey was the most thrown together DC film I've ever seen.
Yeah, and then
why was that even made?
And then you got Wonder Woman 84, which I liked it at first, but watching the second time was just something's peculiar about this film. Yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan. It has its moments, but I wasn't the fan. Then you got the Suicide Squad that came out, and then I do like Black Adam. Black Adam was actually a fun film, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I had fun with Black Adam. I actually watched it again a few hours ago.
You have the Rock support.
If you're talking about Shazam, I saw the leaks, but I'm not really going to spoil anything. But she does have a prominent role, and she is involved in one joke in the beginning. But she does something, as far as I know. I don't know if David F. Sandberg was lying, because I'm pretty sure Gal was even teasing it while I was already saying it, that she was going to be included in Shazam Fury of the Gods. But she does something important in the end that definitely mattered to the overall plot. But again, it makes sense. I mean, look, Shazam franchise, the stuff that goes in there is based on Greek mythology, Greek gods, and obviously Wonder Woman herself is a Greek god. So it's like, how could she not be in the actual franchise? I mean, that's, again, if they cut out her role, it is what it is. Or she was never there at all, and then I'll just take that out. I really don't. I'm not really stressed about it. I care more about Shazam than seeing a cameo from Wonder Woman. I mean, Black Adam, something about that too as well is that damn Dwayne Johnson. They offered him a cameo in this movie, and he declined. That bastard, man.
Just why? Because the fact that you are a Shazam villain, even though you're trying to ignore Shazam, but you weren't trying to go against Superman. I'm like, okay, buddy. You literally just said the word Shazam in the movie, and you're gonna recognize that. Oh yeah, it's connected to Shazam.
Yeah, Jimon Hansu gives you the wizard powers just like in Shazam.
It's the same dude from the first Shazam. Like why are you even trying to distance yourself from Shazam, trying to go against Superman, which is so funny to me. I mean, it would have been. Don't get me wrong. It would have been cool to see it, but you're trying so hard to distance from Shazam, not mention anything except for Jimon Hansu as the wizard, but oh yeah, I'm gonna go against Superman because I'm a top tier A-list DC character, Black Adam.
Top tier?
No. That's what The Rock kind of sees Black Adam as.
And the thing about that as well is I saw as well that it was reported that he was offered a cameo in the Flash movie as well, and he declined. So in my head I was like, bro, it's an extended universe, but you only want to worry about your franchise. There's nothing wrong with that, expanding your franchise and doing bigger things, but at the same time, you have to realize that this character can match up with other people as well. The fact that you're Shazam's main villain and you don't even want nothing to do with that franchise, you just want to fight Justice League or Superman, is kind of telling of your priorities. It's just, I'm not saying he's selfish, or I mean, the ego thing maybe is kind of a true thing, but at the same time, it's like, guy, you weren't willing to work, to play ball with anyone. It's like, what's going on? These executives are telling you, can you show up, please? And you're saying no. So like, I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. It's crazy as hell that people are not even wanting, because it kind of reminds me of Henry Cavill. It's kind of ironic, right? Because he didn't want to show up in the Shazam first movie either when it came to a cameo, and it's like Black Adam doesn't want. I wouldn't be surprised if the thing about Gal ends up being wrong, and she was like, "Nah, I didn't want to show up either." It's like, damn, nobody likes the Shazam franchise. Everyone likes it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's another reason why James Gunn wants to start from scratch, is because like there's going to be these high level actors now that like are going to be demanding more to be in these roles, and so I don't think he wants to deal with all that headache. And like the thing with The Rock, even though I am a fan of The Rock, as a wrestler and as an actor, movie star, whatever you want to call him, but like, I do feel like there's a bit of selfishness on this part when he was making this movie, because like, yeah, he's thinking that this character is bigger than what it actually is. But like, yeah, you are a Shazam villain. That's what you are. You are working off of a already established film, and you know that they're trying to lead up to Black Adam and Shazam crossing over, So I was disappointed that he didn't take that cameo in Fury of the Gods. He should have been teased in the first movie instead of I mean, they had a scene of like the Shazam family sitting at the throne room and teasing about him because there was another empty seat, which we assume, oh, that's Black Adam. That should have stayed in the movie. That shouldn't have been a deleted scene. But like,
to be honest, no, I know what you're talking about. When they're in the throne, they're like, there's one seat missing. But there's the scene within the movie itself where the wizards, like, our past champion releases the seven deadly evil sins or whatever. It's like they retcon that as well, because we saw a little bit of Black Adam's backstory in the Black Adam movie. He didn't release shit. He didn't release any of the sins. He wasn't really going on a rampage killing people. I mean, he actually killed the king and his forces, but it doesn't really count as killing the innocent. So that's how The Rock wanted to make Black Adam more of a superhero type than an actual villain. I'm sorry, Black Adam is a villain. He definitely does not give a fuck about killing people. But at the same time, this comment saying, well, he doesn't want to look. I never thought Shazam was a shitty character. I thought, and the fact, it still kind of angers me the fact that I had to say Shazam instead of Captain Marvel. But
freaking Brie Larson in his portrayal of Captain Marvel, Jesus Christ.
But at the same time, that's his ultimate foe. That's a person he really has to lose to. Like, he has to die in the end after he fights him. But the fact he wants to go from Superman, and again, I don't even think with the Black Adam versus Superman movie, I can bet you money it would have went this way, that they fight each other, but they both, it's like a tie, and then they have to fight a bigger bad, like team up and fight a bigger bad. I do not believe in any way, Black Adam would have lost in that movie, even versus Superman. As crazy as sounds.
Yeah. Honestly, like if they continued with the Black Adam and Shazam stuff, I could see like a Shazam 3 where they could have Black Adam and Superman in there, but Black Adam won't be the main villain because The Rock doesn't want to do that. Maybe they could like give us remember, because at the end of the first Shazam they teased Mr. Mind, so it's like he could have been the main villain, and then Black Adam, Shazam, and Superman would have their squabble, and then they all team together against Mr. Mind. That would have been cool. Well, probably not gonna have that now. Probably
that would have been okay. Shazam would have been the first movie. Then you got Black Adam, Shazam 2. You get a cameo from Black Adam, and then you get fucking I guess maybe another Superman film, and then Shazam 3. Boom, they get their squabble, and then they might team out. That would have been a kind of smoother plan. But The Rock doesn't.
And that would have made money. That would have made money because they had a foundation laid out. It would have been mostly consistent. Like there would have been payoff. There's build up there. So there you go.
I'll say this: The Rock is not coming back. I do believe he'll come back to DC, but for Super Pets 2. In no way do I see him coming back in Black Adam. Super Pets 2. I think they would have greenlight Super Pets 2. That's the only way I can see him. And he does portray Black Adam in that movie as well towards the end,
which is weird.
So, no, I mean it is what it is. But no, I think he would return for that. But again, no, that Black Adam franchise is definitely gone. Fuck that shit. It's over. Rock has to move on when it comes to portraying that character in live action.
Sadly,
he's gonna be stuck as playing Crypto the Super Dog. That's the only character he's gonna try to hype around. We're going to build out this. Imagine him saying, "We're going to build out the DC League of Super Pets universe." I actually like that movie, to be honest with you.
I still need to watch it. I haven't seen it still.
It's pretty good. It's pretty cute. It's just harmless fun. So I actually like that movie.
I'll give it a watch.
I liked it, but The Rock, he tried to push the hierarchies from the change. Obviously, it did, just not for him. But I don't know. He really tried hard to sell Black Adam to the point where it's like, no, I could be Superman's ass, or no, the next movie will be me fighting Superman. He's trying to sell that. He tried to make it sound like he was a big dog. And again, there's nothing wrong with that because the Rock definitely is, or at least Black Adam is a great threat that someone can, fight and have a menacing battle with. But just at the same time, he was just, no, I think he was going about it the wrong time. I think he just had to wait and see what his options were. And again, not playing ball with the franchise you're supposed to be in, definitely, I think, made the fans say, okay, fuck this guy. He doesn't care about Shazam. He only cares about himself. And that's why your movie bombed. That's probably what people said.
Picking and choosing what characters you want to interact with. At the same time, you're going to throw in the Justice Society in your movie. Where are your priorities right now? I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll say that to be honest, the Justice Society is way better than Black Adam in the film itself.
Oh, they almost took over his movie.
And I think the reason why he threw in the Justice Society, I'm sorry, the Rock, I think he's a good actor, but he could not have carried that movie by himself. Hell no.
No. I like The Rock a lot. I like his movies, but they're kind of just like stupid action films if it's just him, like just without any substance. But with the JSA, I mean, they're kind of they're just thrown in there because with no build up but whatsoever. But I would like to see a movie with them. I'm hoping.
Oh, I totally would watch a JSA movie with them.
I mean, I like Hawkman's great, and you got Dr. Fate is great. I would have liked to see Cyclone and Atom Smasher. That would have been kind of a cool way to build them up. but maybe James Gunn might use them. I know that's highly unlikely.
No, I agree with that. Black Adam definitely is the most connected DCU movie. Superman appears in the end. The Task Force X, Black Site is shown. Hardcore returns. Amanda Waters in the movie. And again, I definitely appreciate for the first time in a blockbuster movie we see, Dr. Fate and Hawkman. That's fucking sick. That was cool as hell to see those characters. It's just that the movie should have been, the story should have been better. Sabak as a villain was kind of like. But again, I just don't know where it went wrong with Black Adam. Like so many years, developing this movie and it just went to shit. But again, I do appreciate because I again the visuals. This movie was visually stunning. It really was. The action was great. I mean, I call it a dumb fun action-packed movie because that's what the general audience wants to see. They just want to see dumb fun action, superheroes, etc. They don't want really. Yes, compelling stories can't be a thing, well-constructed narratives, but at the same time, I think the general audience just wants sit back and watch action. That's my take on it.
Well, if that's the case, Black Adam would have been more successful financially. Like, I mean, look, because I like Black Adam too. Even it's dumb fun. It's exactly what you described. But like, DC had something to prove at this point. You have The Rock. You have you have these connective tissues with the DC universe. You bring him back Henry Cavill, and as you said, he had so many years to see where the landscape of superhero movies was in these years that he's been working on it. The story should have been better. This should have been the movie to prove to not only the fan base but to Warner Brothers that there is something salvageable with the DC universe that we have now. But this is once again just another throwaway turn your brain off action movie with a very little plot, and it's like it needed to be more than that. Give us a little more substance with the story, just a little bit more, like. So it's a shame. It is a shame because like I said, I like The Rock and I'm glad that he got Henry Cavill back. The Justice Society was great, but like there's a lot of problems with these scripts, man. What is going on right now?
I did see that even though he was announced back in 2007, I believe, to be Black Adam. Yes, I know there was something with Lobo as well that might have happened with The Rock, even though that shit would look so weird. Him as Lobo. I know for a fact as well. I think he was trying to push to be Luke Cage in the Marvel Universe, even though I definitely wouldn't want to see that either. But
no.
Look, again, I'll give The Rock credit for what he gave us. I definitely am grateful for everything. And look, think about it now. If it wasn't for, even though The Rock definitely had its own selfishness in mind when it comes to bringing in Superman to probably get the word of mouth all over the place for the general audience and the DC fandom, and then obviously raise the box office, like how Venom did with Tom Holland cameo in the end. Well, at least on the TV, but if it wasn't for The Rock bringing in Superman, the last time we would have saw him was Justice League. So I am grateful for that, even though we won't get him anymore. That would have been his last appearance overall.
Yeah. No, also keep in mind with the well, actually, it blows my mind how the first Venom movie made over $800 million. That's freaking nuts. But like, I guess that was an example of a turn your brain off action movie that a lot of the fan base could get behind. And I also got to keep this in mind that Black Adam shouldn't have even came out when it did because Wakanda Forever was right behind him too. So that didn't help this financial situation either. Black Adam should have came out like a couple months earlier at the very least.
August. It was originally supposed to come out in July of this year, but I think just after the Batman they moved it.
Like August, like there's like no competition in August, and we've seen movies that come out in August do well, like Guardians of the Galaxy, the 2016 Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and then you got Bullet. Well, you also got not really. Yeah, you got Bullet Train. I don't think that'd be much of a competition. I mean, if you
I don't think so.
Release it like weeks after Bullet Train, if you just release in August, I mean, it'll be no problem. I don't think it'll be any problem.
Mm-hmm.
And also, to be fair, with like Venom is a more popular character than Black Adam, and that came out and that had no competition basically. So like,
right,
Black Adam like is not as popular as Venom, and it was coming out like a few weeks before Wakanda Forever. So like, They could have at least maybe bumped it up like a few weeks, like end of September, beginning of October, to give it more room.
To be honest, they should have kept it as a summer movie. They should never have transitioned to Supermax.
Yeah, I agree.
No, because it felt like a summer movie. It didn't feel like something on October, for God's sake. But even with that, it still had no. Well, yeah, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was coming out soon, so I guess that's why people were like, "Nah, I'd rather spend my money on that than Black Adam." Already established, successful, good word of mouth movie that is something that's new. What's this? I want to thank you guys for ruining the. Okay, for ruining or. How the hell did I ruin
Eddie? He said this when I had a stream, so like he's blaming anyone that's like critical of Snyderverse or whatever.
Look, again, I have no issue seeing more. Yes, I thought BVS was a disgrace and it ruined the brand. The second movie overall. But still, no, there's some quality in that movie. I won't get it twisted. The score is phenomenal. The action's phenomenal. Ben Affleck in that movie, despite killing, is phenomenal. But still, it's like, come on. I do not like in that film. But even with that, I have no issue with Justice League 2 and 3. Look, there's a way to still have it out, maybe as in animated format, animated Elseworld story. I have no issue with that. But I think they would not. Look, Warner Brothers definitely needs money. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep going on with those tax write-offs, I believe. So it's like,
oh yeah,
other Reed could spend like what 300 to 500 million on something that's Elseworlds, in live action. I don't know. They're not gonna. That money's going to the DCEU. That's not going to the Snyderverse.
Yeah, it's like there is no economical reason why WB should be giving that much money to that franchise. Like the people, most of the critics and the movie going audience hated it. It didn't do financially what they wanted to at the box office. Yes, the Snyder Cut came out on HBO Max, but that doesn't warrant them spending all that money either. And also on top of that, the actors that they have for these movies, they cost more to keep them. So it makes no financial sense for them to throw this so much money for these two movies. As much as we want it to happen, there's no reason for them to do it.
I agree.
It's so broke. It's so broke.
No, I agree. That's probably why they're rebooting, because so they could go with more lesser known actors or no name actors, so they can start those contracts really pretty much without. Because Henry Cavill being in a Superman movie is definitely going to cost more than a no name actor to have a contract for a Superman movie. And if they're going the cheap route with it, and, as long as the movies are good, I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. And before anyone says anything about me saying BBS is a disgrace, I thought Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League were two great movies. I just don't like BBS. It is what it is.
Dude, if Batman v Superman was beloved by everyone, it would have made $1 billion. It would have. It made over 800 million. Now, if the positive word of mouth kept spreading, it would have made close to that $1 billion mark. I wholeheartedly believe that.
If WB didn't cut the 30 minutes that it had, what that the Ultimate Edition had, I think it would have made money. And if Justice League would have came out, it wouldn't be a 4-hour film. It would be a 3-hour film, just like BVS, the Ultimate Edition was. It would be a 3-hour film, and it would came out. Then you get this. Then you get the director's cut, the 4-hour version. It'll make all the money in the world. I mean, I think this would never happen.
It would have been a much better. DC would have been in a much better situation if they just released the regular cut of Justice League from the beginning and not had that Justice League come out. It would have been in a much better situation.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's the truth. And like for people who they don't realize how the expectation Warner Brothers had for BVS. Like the last two Batman movies, Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, both made $1 billion. Man of Steel, while it didn't make as much, still made over 600 million. So of course they expect it to make $1 billion, especially because Wonder Woman also was making her first film appearance. So the first appearance of the Trinity, that's the equivalent of the original Avengers. The expectation of $1 billion was understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's still going to happen. The Michael B. Jordan Superman project and the Val Zod movie or whatever it's going to be. I don't with I forgot the person's name. But I don't think those projects are going to happen anymore. If they still do that, that's cool. I guess I'll watch it. But the two
the J.J. Abrams one.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams one and the Michael B. Jordan one. I don't think they're happening. Again, if they do, it's fine. I'll watch them, but
Put
I
them
don't
on
know.
the Elseworld category, as long as it's not in the main universe, they will be fine. But to bring it back to like the DCU slate, like what do we think that James Gunn is going to announce?
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about James Gunn, because you never know what he's going to say. We don't know what he's going to announce. The only thing that's locked packed right now is that Superman movie. Now, in my opinion, what do I think he should announce? I'll narrow it down. What he should announce is Superman, which he already covered.
Mhm.
We need to know something about Batman. We need to know something about Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and maybe the Flash, ? Maybe. But the main four I would say is we need the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern down pack. Everything else will
Yeah.
come after that.
They should bring back Shaquille O'Neal as Steel.
Oh my goodness.
I'm done. All right.
Imagine in the Flash, that's like a cameo, like shit, like they go past like the Shaq, the Steel verse.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness.
I want him to do a grenade, and then the dude goes, "No!"
I do hope that for like the Batman side of things in the DC universe, they use the more fictional villains like Clayface, Killer Croc. If they do Ra's al Ghul, actually have him be immortal. If they have Bane, actually have him use the Venom, Man Bat. Like I would love to see the more like fantasy fictionalized villains in the DC universe.
I want to
That'd
see.
be nice.
Can Halle Berry come back as Catwoman? Can he be the new DC?
No, we don't need that. No,
Okay.
he's not.
I'm good with that, bro. But no, thinking about the potential slate, I don't think he'll announce everything as majority more important when it comes to character wise. But Superman's already confirmed. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a more traditional version of the character. Look, I like the Boy Scout version, but at the same time, I wanted, like, when Harry was announced to come back with like a more lighter tone, I wanted a balance from Man of Steel and more traditional version of Superman. But I guess maybe they can transition that to the DCU. Maybe, I don't know, unless they want to go straight, animated series wise. But Superman is definitely in the bag. Batman, I'm pretty sure James Gunn says it was going to be a priority. So I really do believe they will have a Batman movie within this universe. I get it, Pattinson's still a thing, but as far as I know, with Batman, the Batman 2 and the Batman 3 and all that spin-off stuff on HBO Max, it's like, well, even with that, I think enough people can already tell the difference between the universes, even the general audiences themselves, because they're not stupid, despite people downplaying how some of them can't realize, what's multiversal or not. I still think they'll know the difference between that. So I think Batman will be a thing.
I'm not the biggest fan. Just thinking that audience are just they're so dumb, which they can't tell which one is which.
There are some that are dumb like that. There are some. I have met them. They're out there, but there are movie-going audience that are smarter. So it's like there's a mixture of them all. So it's like you
can like tell the difference between do people think that DC League of Super is connected to the DCEU or something like that? Like, I swear, I've yet to find a person that actually said that.
Bruh, there were people out there that thought. Okay, so this is Marvel though, but like there are casual moviegoers out there that thought that before No Way Home came out, they thought Andrew Garfield was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
that's the dumb people we're mixing. Dude, my own mother mixed up Chris Hemsworth and Jason Momoa.
I mean, to be fair, like
they got long hair sometimes. They got long hair.
To be fair, when my mom saw the Snyder Cut, when she saw the scene with like Deathstroke and like Lex Luthor, like when she saw Deathstroke like on the boat, she was like, "Is that Deadpool?"
I knew it.
There are people out there like that. There are people out there. The casuals. Oh my God, it's nuts. You have to hold their hand with some of this stuff. But what I think they should do, what I think will ease most people's headache when it comes to what is Elseworld stuff and what's the main universe. It's one simple fix. Brand your Elseworld movies. Give it a label. The Batman, Joker, that stuff. There should be like a DC Elseworld or DC Black Label logo right before it starts, or in the marketing that you need to establish the Elseworld stuff and
Well, they
separate that
call
from the
it
main
DC
DC stuff.
They call it DC Black, but you haven't made a logo like in front of it. Like,
Yeah, put a logo there, and then people will be able to differentiate stuff.
I know James Gunn said something about because you know how the DCU has a specific intro with the characters, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure James Gunn did confirm they're going to change it. So if anything, he can have two different intros for the Elseworld stuff and the main universe stuff. I think that's the way I would go about it, so people can see what's different or not, instead of having the same logo with what is it, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, Flash, and then everyone else in the back.
Yeah, everybody has the same logo except the Batman just had a regular red DC logo. It's like that's not enough to be like, oh, that's different. No, because Shazam had its own DC logo too. So it's like you don't know. Like we gotta differentiate. We gotta be specific.
yeah, just call it DC Black, and then with the Batman stuff, with Joker stuff, and then there'll be I don't think it'll help automatically like 100%, but I think it'll
make things easier. I think
it make things a tiny bit easier. When people think like, oh, is Joker connected to Shazam?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can't help those casuals that that are on the level of is Batman and Superman in the Avengers. You can't help them. But it's just far as like the people with common sense, if they see the logo, of the Black Label or whatever they want to call it, in front of the Batman or Joker or whatever, we'll have more of a focused, understanding of where things are.
Right.
No, I agree, and it's going to be different. It's going to be kind of difficult, not different, but difficult. It will be different too as well, but it'll be difficult for the general audience because think about it. Everyone's getting recast, and now people will be like, "Well, what happened to Jared Leto? What's happening with Joaquin Phoenix?" I doubt they will have a new Joker in the DCU either. So people are going to be like, "Damn, what's going on? Do we have 3 Jokers? Do we have 1? Like now we have 5 Batman. What's going on?" People keep up the pace, or at least
Zaslav said they don't want like 4 Batmans.
I know.
So,
but think about it. People are still gonna, for the people who are in the know, are still gonna know that Michael Keaton was intended to be Batman. People are still gonna think that despite the DCU being over, that Ben Affleck's the Batman. Then people already know the Robert stuff, and now the new Batman actor that will come in. So the people who don't keep up with this, the people who don't really keep up with comic book movies or these universes or the multiverses are going to be like, well, when's Ben Affleck's movie coming out? When's Michael Keaton's movies coming out? When is the Roberts movie coming out? When is this new Batman movies coming out? So some people, you'll be surprised, but some people will act that way.
Yeah, they do. They do. I even have some friends that they don't care about the Robert Pattinson movies. They don't like them. And they want Ben Affleck back. I have friends like that.
Oh
but
I got people at work that think Ben Affleck's Batman is awful.
I mean,
they love the Christian Bale version.
Oh boy.
But it's funny. They're like younger than me, so it's like I grew up on Christian Bale Batman, and don't get me wrong, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. But they love the Christian Bale stuff. They don't care for Ben Affleck. They like Robert Pattinson though as well. So
I mean,
and I don't know. Like when I was with my family yesterday, they all saying they love Keaton, they love Pattinson, they love Bale. They don't like Ben Affleck though. So it's like I don't know. It's like it feels like there's a big divide in who people prefer their Batman, bigger than what Twitter would make you think.
I mean, it's like the Tobey Maguire versus Andrew Garfield versus Tom Holland situation. Who's your Spider-Man?
I love all 3, so I don't even know why it's a debate. I just love all 3. I mean,
it's out there.
I mean, I prefer the Tobey movies, but I love all 3.
Yeah, I appreciate all 3. They each bring something different to the table. In my opinion, my favorite is Miles Morales of Into the Spider-Verse, but nobody wants to put that in the conversation, even though that's arguably the best Spider-Man movie.
That was a phenomenal Spider-Man movie. People forget that was a phenomenal Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because it's animated, people just don't really talk about it too much. Got these dumbasses You know,
It's like-
I think it's gonna be a top tier Spider-Man film. You know, I think we're 2 for 2 for June.
I'm
Gonna
looking
be
forward
GOAT
to
tier.
I'm looking forward to Across the Spider-Verse more so than any of the MCU or DCEU movies.
Honestly,
That's me.
yes, yes.
That's me. Yep. The Guardians 3. That's what I'm looking forward to. But you know, Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man's cool. I mean, Captain Marvel was okay, but you know, I'm not too like excited about it. But Guardians 3 though, that's where I'm day one. I'm there, but Spider-Verse all the way up in the top.
Yeah,
all
I'm
the
looking
way up.
I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and Guardians as well, but it's like to be honest, like it could be because this is like the last dance for the DCEU. It's like the DCE movies I'm anticipating more because I'm just curious to see.
Yeah.
It's like I'm expecting something good with at least Ant-Man 3 and Guardians 3, but it's like I really want to see like how good or like how bad these DCEU movies are going to be because you never know what you're going to get.
Right.
I agree. And the thing about connectivity, look, the thing about the MCU doing it, 'cause I don't think look, who doesn't want to share the universe? Who doesn't want to make that type of profit? Yes, the DCU definitely. I'm not saying they copied they did try to copy at first the MCU, but I think when it comes to share the universe, is the reason why people like him so much because look, it's like the comics. You know, if anything, we could get a movie with Superman, Batman teaming up. We could get a movie with a Justice League. The thing about it is that you have to realize that people want certain characters or certain stories to be told in live action. So if you have a connected universe, a shared universe with all these characters running around, you can have ensemble movies like the Avengers, stuff like that. That people want to see stuff like that. That was in the comics. These characters teaming up with each other, all these different characters teaming up to fight, even leagues of villains teaming up together as well. But that's what people want to see. Even though the MCU hasn't done anything like that yet, but still, that's what because it's like the comics. You want something similar to the comics. How everyone was just there to be there. Everyone, people could just show up out of nowhere unexpectedly to help each other in any scenario or case. But that's my take on the whole connectivity thing. It's important.
I do kind of agree because I do like connected universes. I do like it, but I feel like we're just not living in the world where you can say, look, it's okay. You can have a standalone film. It's okay. Like Joker. That means just getting a sequel, but I mean, it's not really building up anything. It's still like its own thing. I mean, I'm more like mixed on that. It's just just because it's based on a comic book doesn't mean it has to be a universe.
Yeah, like I like when the characters cross over. I do. Like some of the best stories from the comics are when characters cross over. That's what we want to see. Like the big payoff, seeing all these characters that we love work together. That's something we always want to see.
Right.
But like to go off of Jay's point, I feel like especially with Marvel, like they have they're so deep into the cinematic universe and everything crossing over. It feels like we don't have these movies don't feel self-contained anymore. It doesn't feel like somebody's own individual stories. It always feels like they have to include other characters that aren't like integral to their movie, or they have to set up things for future projects. Like that's what's frustrating me about Marvel nowadays. Like it doesn't, like I miss the days of Phase 1 where it's like they had some hints of connectivity here and there, but for the most part it was their own standalone story. It was their own development. They didn't feel the need to like build up to something bigger. I mean, the seeds were there, but you didn't need to like focus on them so much to appreciate the movie. And that's
exactly.
Yeah. So it's just, I miss those days. And I hope DC doesn't fall into that same trap where everything gets so interconnected where it's like you have to watch everything to understand everything. Like it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, especially with these shows coming out from Marvel that I have not been the biggest fan of as of late. But it's like I feel obligated to watch them because you never know what they're going to put in there that's going to be important for something down the line, and I don't want to be confused, yada yada yada.
Yeah. That's the same thing, because my mom loves the first Doctor Strange. It's a great film. But then she's watched Multiverse of Madness, so she was a little confused because remember, she's casual. She likes Marvel films, but she hasn't seen every single one of them. So like, okay, she's seen like Wanda, but she was confused, saying that why is she turning evil? Like why is she going crazy? Like you have to watch WandaVision to know what's going on with Doctor Strange too. So I can follow it fine, but when it comes to general audiences, they really going to be confused as crap.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like because like my mom, she's only really watched like WandaVision and Loki when it comes to the MCU shows. Like I feel like she's gonna be very confused. Like if she doesn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier by the time New World Order comes out, or like
Mhm.
I mean, she wants to watch Hawkeye. She just hasn't made the time to watch it. But like if she doesn't see like Miss Marvel before like the Marvels comes out, she's gonna be confused.
Yeah, and it's like I'm sure if all of us were asked individually, what movies should you watch before going into Infinity War and Endgame, all of us would have different answers. All of us would have different answers. Because like you can't just watch Avengers 1 and then Age of Ultron and then Infinity War and then Endgame and understand everything that's going on. There's no way. There's no way.
No, I agree. And hopefully, I can't stress enough, please take your time with this universe, this new universe. You need proper planning is the key to a successful universe. Don't worry about Marvel. Don't worry about the money they're making. As long as look, reviews are good reviews and good box office, good profits is all good and fun. But at the same time, because I can see some of these movies doing really well when it comes to box office and even word of mouth from critics and audiences, like it just that take your time to construct them and not just throw in useless cameos or again if they want to don't even think about the greater world when it comes to the earlier years of the DCU, because I know James Gunn said Superman won't be an origin movie, and I don't think the Batman movie, if they make one in the DCU, because I really strongly feel like they will, it won't be an origin movie either, I believe. So it's like going from there, saying that he's already met some heroes, well, okay, that's fine and dandy, but just stray away from the talks about teaming up, getting the league together, because that's what they did in the DCU fast.
Yeah.
So just take your time, get all these standalone movies. That's not copying Marvel. That's being smart. There's nothing wrong with standalone movies. It's just that you have to make sure that people realize later on, once everyone's established, that they can come together.
Yeah, like I would say for like the main heroes that we know, like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, stuff like that, we don't need origins for them. We know where they come from now. But I would say with like the newer characters that James Gunn will put in that are like more like C level, D level characters, you probably should do origins for them. Like Blue Beetle, for instance. Not a lot of people know who Blue Beetle is. You should have origin stories for them. And even you don't even have to set up all the members of the Justice League before you have a Justice League movie. You get the core people out the way, and you can introduce like the other characters in the Justice League movie, and then they can have their own standalone movies after that. Like I would say, if you at least have a Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman movie, maybe Flash or Green Lantern in there, you could have a Justice League movie after that, and then all the other Justice League members could have their movies after that. So they don't have to do the exact same thing that Marvel's doing with setting up every single character before an Avengers movie comes out.
No, I agree, and I think why I have so much faith in James Gunn, because he is a comic book guy. He loves comics, and when it comes to expanding or thinking about a greater world beyond just standalone films, I think he can do it. I think he can give us the cosmic side, the grounded side, the magical side, and whatever else when it comes to DC. And I think again he'll give us all these obscure characters, but I think he'll be able to range out from A, B, C, D. He'll give us the C listers, the D listers, the B listers, because the A-listers are good. Everyone knows who the A-listers are, but just the A-listers alone will not build out a whole universe. No, you need everyone else involved as well. That's why I keep saying animation, video games, and whatever else might happen besides the theatrical stuff is going to be key and important. Because if anything, the stuff that James Gunn is teasing, I could very well see a Mr. Terrific series or special on HBO Max. I could see the same thing for Jonah Hex, a Wild Wild West special for Jonah Hex as well. That's magical. elements.
Justice League Dark, man.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, get Guillermo del Toro back. He was originally supposed to be in talks for something like that, right? But then they said never mind. And then J.J. Abrams was going to give a shit for a couple of years with that big ass deal. So
That was a waste of money.
Yeah, it was a waste of money. But no, I could very much see like James Gunn can be very, very, very. I'm not saying he's to be a purist of sorts when it comes to DC, but I think he definitely give us stuff ripped straight from the comics. I mean, look what he does. Look at what he does with these comic book characters, and look what he does with their costumes. I mean, look at the Suicide Squad; it's so colorful. All their costumes are ripped straight from the comics. Even something like ridiculous like Polka Dot Man is straight from the comics. That exact suit.
Straight up.
No, I could very well see him do that. And the thing I always wanted to see when it comes to DC, or at least a shared universe, I know for a fact Marvel can't do because I don't even think they have any at all. But when it comes to sidekicks, man, I could very well see sidekicks being in it. Robin, not a dead Robin. If there's gonna be a dead Robin, it better be Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Kid Flash, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, freaking whoever else in their mother that wants to show up. Yeah,
hello, Megan.
I could, Miss Martian. I can very well Superboy. I can very well see him adapting these type of storylines. Death in the Family, freaking that's a Superman probably could be done right if they take their time with that. If they want to go that route where he dies, freaking I'm trying to think what else. But you know what I mean, like almost straight away from stuff like that when it comes to what adaptations and what stories he wants to put up in the Teen Titans could definitely have. I could very well see him put the Teen Titans there in DCU as well. I could see this universe, if done right, can last more than 20 years if done right.
Absolutely. There's so many different pocket universe they could put in this DC universe. So many different styles and powers and storylines. It's so diverse, way more diverse than I think Marvel ever have gotten.
I can see because I've been wanting look, I like different stuff from different comic book stuff. I'm sure that Gunn's gonna do it, but I like some of the more like something like Logan. So something like Werewolf by Night, some that are wildly different, some more experimental, not too experimental, but like a little bit that it's consistent within the universe. Like something you can go like R-rated. You don't have to be at the worry about the mouse or anything like that. You can just go like do whatever you want, but make sure it's not too make it just connected well. Like very experimental.
Yep. I said it before and I say it again. The best type of cinematic universes are when they appeal to many different audiences and different demographics. There should be a mixture of stuff for kids. There should be a mixture of stuff for young adults. There should be a mixture of stuff for the whole family. It have different tones, different demographics, different genres. That's how you make a great cinematic universe. Everything should not feel the same.
Yeah.
It's like you're in a universe where a bunch of goofy asses like Thor, guys screaming coats everywhere.
Are you gonna really make Booster Gold this dramatic dark character? Are you really gonna make the Teen Titans these dark and gritty teens that fit a Snyder tone?
Directed by Christopher Nolan.
Oh Jesus.
Christopher Nolan, Zack
Gritty.
Snyder. Oh my gosh.
Gritty Green Lantern. Instead of looking green, they look auburn because it's so dark.
More like Auburn Lantern.
No, but think about that because that was one of the things. But I'll go back to this conversation as well. When it comes to Green Lanterns, I think they will be a priority. James Gunn is a master when it comes to the cosmic side of the MCU. He was going to be the leader or oversee all that stuff until he got fired, then rehired. But he was supposed to be overseeing all the cosmic side, all the alien shit. So Green Lantern is the perfect property to expand when it comes to TV show, theatrical. I mean, James Gunn does not care when it comes to this comic book silliness or introducing stuff that probably nobody would expect to see in the comics. I can see him doing red lanterns, yellow lanterns. I can see him do blue lanterns, black, Star Sapphire, all those people as well. Like I could see all that shit happening.
I would have an orgasm in the theater if I saw all that. I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
waiting so long. Please, James Gunn, give it to us. We need a space opera like Green Lantern. I want a trilogy out of that shit. Give it to me. Give it all.
I could see him doing Sinestro, Atrocitus. I could see him do all that shit. Like this guy, I think he will expand the DC universe in a way we never really thought it could before. But going back to look again, James Gunn does not care about the goofy side of DC. He doesn't care about the more serious side. He sees all of it as DC still. He doesn't care how gritty it is, how humorous it is. So going to like even if it's not space stuff, if it's grounded. Like, I know people are complaining, even though I like it this way, when it comes to the Batman stuff, how everything's grounded. He's not gonna do any superpower stuff. I could see in the Batman franchise in the DCU on James Gunn doing stuff like Clayface, Killer Croc, freaking whoever Bane with the Venom, the actual Venom, not he's just buff. I could very well see him use the Venom and everything.
Actually,
Condiment King.
Condiment King. But yes, actually see some over-the-top comic booky stuff in a Batman movie. Can we please get that? Can we please? I'm tired of the grounded realism of Batman. We've done it to death.
Are you kidding me? You know how popular these sidekicks are? Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, Superboy. Everyone loves them. People, what do you think people have been complaining for a Robin for so long in a Batman
We want
movie?
the Bat family in live action again. The last time we got it is Batman and Robin, and it was trash. Redeem it. We can do it. We've seen so
Bring
many
Chris
great
O'Dowd
stories.
back, please.
No. We don't need that.
Yeah, no.
Stone, please.
Yeah, no. But there are so many great stories with the Bat family, and it's like that's a way to keep the Batman franchise fresh because we've seen to death the beginnings of Batman, where he's on his own and he's dealing with these gangsters and whatever. It's like we need more diverse stories. I'm tired of seeing the Joker every other year. Like there are so many other stories they could do.
Batman has such a big rogue gallery. It's like, why do you think people are pushing for Mr. Freeze to be in the Batman 2? Because it's like we haven't seen Mr. Freeze since like 1997, and it's like you can do Mr. Freeze well as long as you take it seriously and like have that heartfelt story. That's another one. If Matt Reeves doesn't use Mr. Freeze, that's another one James Gunn can use in the DC universe.
Or what about the Phantasm if they can do it right?
Oh, I would love to see a live action Phantasm.
I'm surprised they haven't used the Phantasm more in Batman media after Mask of the Phantasm. Where
That's a great movie. I'm surprised. Like maybe with the Batman 2, or maybe Robert Pattinson's Batman, or maybe in James Gunn's side. He wants to be inspired by Bruce Timm's stuff. Why not utilize the Phantasm?
Yeah.
No, I agree. And when it comes to the Justice League franchise, I think there will be a Justice League movie. I just think they will take their time. But I don't know if that will happen in the first 4 years. But James Gunn is still there and involved, and yes, I think he would oversee that to make sure it's perfect. So obviously, after the first Justice League movie, or at least a Justice League movie in the DCU, no, and they can't have something like that happen again. They have to oversee it and make sure it's phenomenal. But I think I could see a Darkseid being in the DCU. But again, I think for now, it'll probably start off more smaller in scale. Maybe a Vandal Savage or a Brainiac
Can we please get Brainiac?
That's another thing. Maybe they can finally do New Gods right this time.
Maybe.
I'm not saying bring back Ava DuVernay, but like try New Gods again.
But yeah, they could. New Gods and Apocalypse at War, Highfather, Orion. They could again, these stories, the cosmic side, I can't stress enough. When it comes to the cosmic side of the DCU, I feel like Green Lanterns, the New Gods, New Genesis, Apocalypse, I feel like all that stuff should be expanded and more. I feel like they give us the best out of every scenario. Again, look, I have faith in all the stuff he can do. When it comes to the grounded stuff, the cosmic side, the magical side, I really feel like this guy can expand it. And look, if I end up being wrong, I'll take the L and say, fuck it, let's reboot one more time.
Yeah, I'll be the first to tell you, like, yeah, if it don't work. But
Victor Zsasz. That'd be dope.
What do you mean? They did Victor Zsasz in Birds of Prey.
Oh, he did? Oh, I forgot about him.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
No,
I,
again,
I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, that was him.
for
Jesus.
Superman, they could do anyone, not just Lex, but Brainiacs. They could do Lobo, obviously. Jason, who Jason fighting, whoever the new Superman can be.
Dude, let's get Parasite. Let's get Metallo. Let's get Mongol.
Metallo, Mongo, Mr. and Missy Plislik, or however you pronounce it. They could get his ass in there. I mean, why not? They get the goofy side as well.
Toy
but no.
Man. Toy Man.
Toy
I can
Man,
see
Toy
James Gunn
Man.
doing Toy Man. Yeah.
Yeah, a Condiment King. That's going to be a very intimidating villain.
He really wants Condiment King.
Ketchup and mustard. They're going to cover the whole Gotham City in mustard and ketchup. Like, that's diabolical. Like, oh. Oh my god.
And I feel like that's what I think a lot of Snyder fans didn't realize, that like it felt like things were kind of limited. It's like now you can like expand. You can actually like do so much.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing I appreciate about James Gunn's DCEU work, the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. It felt like he was kind of expanding the universe in a way that it felt like other films were struggling to do.
True. Very true. Even though
Kite
he was
Man
tapping
and-
more into the Kite Man. Jesus Christ, Kite Man. I mean, we had Calendar Man in the Suicide Squad, so anything goes at this point.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, even though Snyder's movies was leaning more towards the supernatural stuff and the cosmic stuff, like it was still under like a gritty, still trying to have a gritty realism to it at the same time. Where I'm like, okay, wait a minute, but okay, all right. It was still interesting, but
Well, like I said, I liked Man of Steel. I like Snyder's take on it.
mm-hmm.
I just feel with BVS, I mean, I get the darker. It's just too drab. Like the colors were so muted, but watching Wonder Woman, it was so colorful. It was actually pretty fun. There was some memory. I like BVS still. Well, I was a little mixed on BVS. It's just too like brown.
Yeah, there was
That's
the colors were a bit muted for me, and like there is a lot of good ideas I think they had at BBS, but it just felt really overstuffed. Like there was too much happening in that movie. I think like if Snyder just had Superman and he was able to do his own trilogy, not worry about a bigger universe, let him finish this thing out instead of just throwing all these DC characters on his second movie. I think it would have been better, honestly. Just let him do his Superman, and then if you want to do a DC universe after that, do something different. Because Man of Steel, like, it didn't seem like it was meant to be in a DC universe. It looked like it was supposed to be its own thing, like the Dark Knight trilogy. And obviously, and obviously because it had Nolan produce it, and you felt it.
Yeah, that was weird, and they actually wanted Nolan to like take over the whole universe as well, like to oversee it. But it's like I don't think he would, because I'm sorry. Look, I like the Batman trilogy he did, but at the same time, he's a director with range. I'm pretty sure he's not the type of person who would stick around just into superhero movies or oversee them. He's not that type of director at all.
Christopher Nolan's freaking Plastic Man. Come on,
dude. That's the thing. I don't. Yeah.
Are you about to say, Dia?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, because like Nolan, I don't think he even likes those type of over the top characters. He didn't even want his trilogy to be like he didn't even want all the supernatural stuff that Batman encounters. Everything was just so grounded and realistic. I don't see him doing stuff like a Plastic Man or Green Lantern or anything like that. So I wouldn't trust him to overhelm a DC universe. I don't even think his style would fit with everyone, Like it worked for what he was trying to do with Batman until Dark Knight Rises came out. But even then, the first two movies, like it worked for his world that he was establishing. But like I couldn't see him doing a Superman movie. I can't see him doing Green Lantern. I can't see him doing Martian Manhunter. None of that stuff. So I don't know.
No, I agree. I don't think he would have stayed anyway because even he just I don't think he would want to be restricted just to being like a comic book guy. He definitely has range when it comes to his films, and it has different styles and tones, stuff like that. But again, now they have the chance to get seasoned talent in when it comes to directors, writers, producers, the talent itself. Who might be surprised? Maybe there'll be well-established actors and actresses as well, not just no names. But it could go either way.
I would say I think they should get some. I think they should get unknowns or like actors that aren't that big. So like,
Right.
so it won't be like, first of all, so it won't be distracting. Us seeing these well-known actors as these characters, but also it just goes back to being the clean slate. You don't have any set expectations on this actor to act a certain way because you don't know them. So and I think that's a way of creating new stars as well, because we need to establish new characters, new actors in general.
I wonder who will play Superman.
That's the big question, ain't it? That's the big question.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah. I will say this. I know it's coming, but please don't harass that guy because I know it's coming for all of them.
Oh, you know it's coming. It's like, you are
I'm
not
dreading
Henry
it.
Cavill. You're not my Superman.
I'm dreading it. The internet's just the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah, remember
Even
whenever...
though-
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh no, it's even Wonder Woman, the whoever Batman's doing, and that you go DL.
Like, we all, like, I could just go through the list of actors that everyone hated at first, but then ended up really enjoying them. Michael Keaton as Batman, Heath Ledger as the Joker. Chris Evans as Captain America. I was one of those people when Gal Gadot was casted as Wonder Woman. I said that was one of the worst casting decisions in the history of Hollywood. I thought they were literally on some crack. Like, why did you cast this Israeli Barbie doll from the Fast and Furious movies? You are out of your mind. You are out of your mind. She's built.
That's harsh as fuck.
She was built like a Barbie doll, and she barely could act. Barely.
To keep her.
You casting her as one of the most iconic female superheroes of all time? What? But anyway,
to keep it real, they be using like unflattering pics as well. Because like I remember that they used like a pic of her that you can almost see like her spine or some shit. That's how skinny she was, and people were like, "What the fuck is this?" But I think like these news outlets be doing people dirty sometimes when it comes to like, look how this person looks. Like again, we were all proven wrong. I never even had doubts about her either, but everyone was proven wrong.
She was doing some workout stuff. She got muscle, so she ain't no Barbie doll. I'm gonna remember that.
She put the work in to like, I think, prove her doubters wrong.
But yeah, and even like Henry Cavill, when he started out, he wasn't that big either. Like, he was coming off of Immortals. That was probably the biggest movie he's done. But like, other than that, like, nobody knew who Henry Cavill was. So it's like, and then
he was a Ken doll, wasn't he?
Huh? Oh, okay. You're funny.
I think Ben Affleck was the worst one. I think people were literally like punching the wall when they heard he was going to be Batman.
Yeah, I was scared when they cast him as Batman. I was like, "Are you serious right now? What? Why Ben Affleck? Daredevil? Remember that?"
Oh my
but
goodness.
Even though I ended up being one of the few people that think that Ben Affleck is my favorite live action Batman, but like, there's just so many cases where it's like, don't underestimate the unknowns. Don't underestimate the unknowns.
No,
I Robert Pattinson as Batman got a lot of flack.
Oh yeah, Twilight Boy.
Twilight Boy.
Twilight Boy.
Sparkle. We're gonna get I saw someone say we're gonna get Kristen Stewart as Vicky Vale.
No.
Oh my god!
Please don't.
I mean, you never
somebody
know.
Watching this stream is already calling her on the phone.
It's like, oh
no, but that's good that you mentioned that, because again, going back to like how much range these franchises could be, these separate IPs in the same universe. Yeah, we could get reporters like Vicky Vale,
Lana Lang. I want Lana Lang.
Iris West. Again, they can really go in with this. And I feel like no, when it comes to like the secondary cast, when it comes to these superhero stories, they could definitely fill it out. I mean, look, we finally will not get a Jimmy Olsen that died.
Oh my!
A proper Jimmy Olsen
And
that
I
doesn't
love
get
how
killed.
I love how some of these people are like, "Oh, who cares about Jimmy Olsen?" Like,
Dude, Jimmy
Olsen's
Olsen was one of Superman's best friends. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand. That's for people that don't know Superman. I'm disappointed.
It's like you can tell what people don't really read comics or really don't care about the source material who claim to care about the source material.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, I as much as I talk shit about him killing, even though I don't like that at all. Look, the action was the best Batman action I ever saw in live action was Ben Affleck. I mean, that warehouse scene alone was fucking phenomenal. The bat suits are so great as well. Better than Keaton's and the Nolan trilogy, especially the Nolan trilogy.
Yo, dude, the
But-
Nolan trilogy, I didn't
yeah.
like his suit. I didn't
But-
like it.
Again,
Oh,
he was the best Batman never was. To be honest, with you.
Like, no. Where's the trigger? I'm like, why are you talking like that? Like,
you sound like he needs some cough drops.
yeah, seriously. And like, I'm one of those people that Jack Quaid is Jimmy Olsen. Maybe.
That'd be a little typecasting now, since we all know him as from the boys.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah, and like I'm one of those people that I don't give a shit about Batman's no killing rule. Like it depends what the story is. If the story calls for him not to be killed, then fine. Just be consistent. Which
I don't even care if he kills or not. I mean, if you watch some of the stuff, if you play the Arkham games, he kind of fucks people up in a way. Like
he does not kill anyone in those games at all.
and like every live action movie except George Clooney's, they all killed in some shape or form.
I'll say this. I'll say this. Yeah, Keaton did have that moment with the grenade. Yes. Look,
Blew up an entire factory with people in it. Set someone on fire. It's just a lot of stuff. But anyway.
When it comes to
remember in Batman Returns where he just put down in the sewer, he blew somebody up. That shit, like, come on.
When it comes to Nolan, it's all about the thing about I won't kill you, but I won't save you either. So I guess that way it does count as killing.
And then he accidentally pushed Two-Face off of a building.
Accidentally.
And
then he crushed a couple of people in his tumbler. You know,
I think it is. I think it's the reason why people hold on to that, because even before those movies, there was some more iterations of him not killing at all. But I think what did it for the general audience and for the main Batman purists was Batman Animated Series, because he definitely specified about not killing at all and doing all that.
Yes,
and then
consistent. He was consistent.
Yeah, but then it transitioned heavily to the comics and the video games and the animation when it came to Batman not killing at all. So that's why people have that notion of Batman should have killed, because it's been around for definitely more than 30 years about him not killing. So that's why people, at least the more younger people, probably people in their 20s and 30s, probably see that as an ideal Batman, one who doesn't kill. Again, I have no issue with him killing, but at the same time, I'd rather not see it. But it depends, because even though I thought the Batfleck shit was cool in BVS when he was killing, at the same time, it was like, well, yeah, this guy, he's killing though.
It's just like the killing don't make sense in BVS when Joker is still running around in the DCEU and like other villains are running around. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. That is
especially because this version of Joker obviously killed Robin. So
yeah, like I was all in favor of Batman and the Joker. Like now, it's you need to end him now. I was like, no, that's against his morals. Okay.
Again, it just depends, but I'd rather not see it. But again, lots of people actually share that notion. It's not me just putting out of nowhere about people not liking him killing or anything like that. The same thing with Superman.
I mean, Superman. I understand why people like the no killing Batman. I totally understand why, but it's just I just want people to be consistent when you're seeing Batman doing indirect stuff of him killing.
Yeah.
Technically he didn't directly want to kill the person. It doesn't matter. He killed somebody. That's second or third degree murder. I forget which degree it is, but like technically he caused it. So it's like that goes against what he did, no matter what the circumstances were. But Superman, he kills people. Like not like he doesn't go out his way to kill people, but like when it's absolutely necessary, you know. And it's like, and one of the reasons why like I don't care about the no killing rule of Batman is because he feels like he'll go to a darker place if he ends up killing people. He won't go back again. Well, we see Superman killing people, and he's morally okay. He's fine in the head. I mean, I get Batman has the whole thing with his parents and it's like messing with his psyche. I get that, but it's just like if you have people like Superman that is willing to go to that extreme if it's absolutely necessary, why can't Batman do the same thing? You know,
I don't know. It goes down to morals and no, not being any better than the criminals he arrests or hunts down. I mean, we see it all the time. Guns are the weapons of cowards. These people are, you can't really killing is something is a line he'll never cross because yes, I have heard that before. He states in himself, yes, he does consider it, but then he'll realize if he does it if he even considers or actually doesn't, then he might just go ballistic and start going on a rampage, being a menace or something like that.
Okay, Data Guy, wait a minute. Okay, so what is main canon in comics? Can you please tell me? What is the main canon of the Superman's comics? Please explain that to me, because there are so many different versions of Superman. I'm not just talking about one-offs. There are Golden Age, Rebirth, New 52. There are instances where he's put in that situation. So I want you, please be specific to me. What Superman comics are you talking about?
I really just don't care this Superman can't kill people because he's the specific interpretation. Like I don't read comics really, and like I want to see what's on screen, what they have represented of this character, and that'll be good because I'm aware it's a different iteration than just being the embodiment of the character in general. That's why I like Man of Steel. Man of Steel is great.
Yeah, like there should be room for different interpretations of the characters. Even in Marvel, even though they're great, most of them are great iterations of the characters. They're not the definitive versions.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, and I have no issue because I know people had when it comes to this topic of collateral damage, and obviously Man of Steel, thousands of people died during that battle with Zod, him and Superman fighting. When I saw that, I know a lot of people were actually, it became a controversy. People were saying it was divisive about him causing this mass destruction on Metropolis. But in my head, I was like, well, it makes sense. Obviously, people are going to fucking die if this shit's happening. Buildings collapsing and all that stuff. It makes sense that, these people dead ass throwing trucks at each other and cars. Like, obviously, someone's going to get hurt. So it actually makes good sense of them showing it. And then BVS actually did a good job in the beginning showing the events during Metropolis and afterwards. No, because lots of people fucking died. And I think that's a realistic take when it comes to showing the aftermath of these big battles. I mean, look at Marvel; they don't really do something like that, to be honest. When it comes to the collateral damage, they might reference, some people getting hurt. They've done it before, but at the same time showing it or at least specifying that no. People see, yes, you saved the day, but people still see you as a menace or see you as a menace despite saving the day because of all the people that were hurt just because of you trying to save us. So I think that was good. That was good commentary in BBS. That's one of the things I'll give it. But at the same time, again, I don't want to go into the execution and everything else.
Yeah, going to a reanalysis of Man of Steel.
Yeah, but no, that stuff was good. And again, I understand about the killing stuff when it comes to these heroes. I mean, look, Batman, I have strong feelings about it, but Superman, no, I know that he definitely has to face more powerful threats. Again, Darkseid, Brainiac, etc. You're not going to beat him just by just one slab and he'll be down. No, you really have to be brutal. You really have to go around and try to find an advantage. So it makes sense why Zod's fight had to be the way it was, because in no way. I mean, yes, you could make a argument. It could have took it to the desert or something, but it's like. I don't know.
I mean, even if that was him. Yeah, exactly. Even if he did, okay, let's say, because I heard this argument so many times. Even if he did, like fly him off somewhere else. Zod is still gonna go back and try to kill a bunch of people, attempt to. So it's like there was a lose-lose situation there. Even if he moved it somewhere else, he's gonna try to kill other people. So, and yeah, the whole thing of him killing Zod there, it's like I know a lot of people don't like that, but in a way, story-wise, I think that was a interesting way of having him be like how he appreciates life more because he had to kill the last remaining person of his race. He didn't want to do that, you know. And so I think after that, it will make him more appreciative about the life of a being, you know. And it's like he doesn't want to go down the road unless it's absolutely necessary, you know. That's what I'm saying. When it's absolutely necessary, he's not going to go out his way to kill people, but there's just some possible threats where he has to go that route. He's killed aliens before. He's killed Doomsday. Doomsday is a living creature. What you mean he doesn't kill? He's killed Brainiac before. Like, what are you guys talking about? He doesn't kill anybody. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know who's saying that in the comments. Die the guy. Like, he's killed people before. Just when it's absolutely necessary, though. When the threat is too good, too great for them to just be contained. Because so that's the only thing I say about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about it too.
Here's the biggest.
Quick
No, you go,
question
George.
quick question about Superman, because like I actually saw this post on Twitter. Someone said they wanted to see Pa Kent finally like live in the next Superman franchise. Like,
That'd be nice.
Agree? Yeah, because it's like one of the things, like I always grew up with like Superman the animated series, remembering Pa Kent being alive, like even before I saw the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. So it's like I would love to see like a Superman film franchise where like Pa Kent at least doesn't die like before he becomes Superman.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be nice.
At least lives to see Superman, like, because
Mhm.
like if you watch Superman the animated series, he still has these values with like both Pa and Ma Kent still being alive. Like Superman doesn't need to be a story of tragedy like Spider-Man and Batman.
No, even though I did like, one of the things that I wasn't a big fan of in Man of Steel was how Pa Kent died from the tornado. I wasn't a fan of that scene. I thought it was more effective if they did want to kill Pa Kent in the future. I did like the whole he died of natural causes.
Yeah.
It's because like that's another lesson that Superman could learn, that with all the abilities that he's not able to save his father from what was it, heart attack or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
heart attack. It was a heart attack.
It was a heart attack. So that would be a nice lesson for Superman to learn down the line. But yeah, as you said, like it'll be nice to have Pa Kent be alive while he is Superman for a while at the very least. Just to have both parents there, that would be nice.
Right. Like it doesn't need to be like super like dramatic all the time. Like you can't have a superhero with like living parents or living spouses or whatever. Just like there's a way to like make your character like go through their journey in some sort of way.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I heard like James Gunn, like some of the inspiration is like some of the animated stuff. So like look at like Superman the animated series, which was like traditional Superman, like done right, that general audiences enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
No, I agree with that, and again, it depends on, because I feel like all this talk about, because we definitely been talking about various topics on here, but no, do I believe it will be the more ideal versions that people want? Because I really don't think Batman will kill in this DCU at all.
Probably
really
not. They don't want to. They don't even want to deal with that controversy, I'm sure, because they've already dealt with it with Ben Affleck. So
I can see it with Superman, kind of, in the same way. They're going to have to make it clear that it's either going to be aliens or like some obscure, mindless like alien type organisms, humanoids type aliens, or whatever else. But it definitely won't be people, actual people, or people who, or aliens who look like people, I guess.
Yeah, he's not going to kill Toy Man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I think that'll be fine. Like,
Yeah,
if he kills like someone like Brainiac or
yeah,
Metallo or something like that, that'll be fine.
like monsters and stuff like that, or
Monsters,
interdimensional threats, like stuff like that.
exactly,
Yeah, people
exactly.
won't care about since they're monsters.
Right. I just hope that like with this version of Superman, like, I hope there is a balance, with the Boy Scout stuff and like actually seeing some relatability with them, because that's something that I thought they did really well with Superman. Brought us down to our world, but still, still I thought personally, I know a lot of people won't agree, but I thought still kept the essence of Superman with him reacting to the realistic dark circumstances of present day, of the modern era, So I just hope they still keep those values to make Superman relatable, at least, because that's one of the biggest criticisms that people have with Superman is that, oh, he's too boring, oh, he's too much of a Boy Scout, he's too perfect, like he's not relatable at all. So I just hope that James Gunn's able to make that balance with them.
Yeah, it's all about the execution. Like how are you gonna like you gotta execute all like the Boy Scout stuff with all the like the Donner type stuff. Like you gotta execute it well so audience can actually flock to go see this movie, which I think they will. It's Superman.
No, I agree with that. Look, I actually do like that sentiment because they should do that when it comes to the DCU. No, obviously, yes, the Boy Scout stuff can work with a balance, but the grounded, more realistic style, yes, make sure that he can stand for hope. He could be inspirational, all that stuff, like just like the comics. But at the same time, let us know or let him realize that what's the world he lives in. Yes, murder still happen, war still happen, crime still happen. People die every day. Stuff like that. That's happens in reality as well. So make him, and again, they do a good job of balancing that out when it comes to comics. Yes, he knows all that stuff is a fact. He knows that crime will never stop. He knows that even though he is making a difference, people are still going to get hurt when he's dealing with something else. But still keep that hope, still keep that inspiration to the public, saying, well, maybe I could be like Superman one day, or maybe he can make a difference. I can too. So keep that hope factor into the franchise once they get up the first movie. But I have no issue with there be a balance when it comes to Boy Scout, but still keep it still make him realize that the world he lives in is still kind of like dark. They're dark and like gritty and edgy. If you guys kind of know what I mean.
Yeah, like
No, I get it.
yeah, the world is harsh, it's cruel, but
Not everything is all like Winter Wonderland.
Yeah,
not everything's Sesame Street.
like the world is harsh and cruel, but he's still trying his best to change it.
exactly, like be an inspiration for what the world can be.
All right.
Oh, that's a good stuff. That's a good stuff. So I think we'll be ending it after this because we definitely been talking for 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
This is better talk than what Max is doing.
James Gunn is killing the Snyderverse. It's the end of DCU.
Oh my God, they're gonna destroy the whole DCU.
Look. I mean, look. I'll talk DC my way. He'll talk DC his way. I guess that's the balancing we have when it comes to this channel. I guess.
Great. That's great. We need that balance.
I mean, look. I love Max, but I feel like he's overreacting. It's like DC was always going to survive with or without Snyder. You just got the right people in charge, and like, you got a new regime. Like you're gonna expect like new things to happen. And look, here's the thing for people that are saying like Zaslav was caught off guard with the reboot. If Zazlav's approved of it, so like I don't know why people are freaking out still.
Yeah, and look, what Brian says, but not everything has to be a funeral too. There is a balance. Yes, I think there should be a balance between being hopeful and trying to say, well, maybe something good might happen down the road. Look, yes, I'm not gonna lie, be emotional, be kind of frustrated because obviously it's a fucking reboot. People don't want that to happen. People don't want to get rid of all these actors that we have emotional ties with since 2013. But at the same time, I think there should be a balance of being positive and negative, especially when it comes to certain factors. Because look, we don't know anything. We're just guessing most of the time. We're just saying we're just talking about or speculating about what's being available or given to us by James Gunn. So I think there should be a balance between how we react to certain things. But again, I have no issue with people being frustrated or emotional or just saying, well, maybe I should just give up on DC. I should, in my opinion, I think you should wait to see how everything's executed first. But at the same time, look, it's your money, it's your time. I can't do shit about that. Do what's best for you, I guess.
Also, here's the thing, and it's kind of like something similar to what The Rock said in his statement. Like, there's so much like the DC multiverse and like all these Elseworld stuff. It's like this isn't like 100% officially. These characters are 100% gone forever. Like we've learned from Marvel. They brought Toby and Andrew back. They're bringing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. I mean, the Flash film's bringing Michael Keaton back as Batman, so it's like it ain't like this is 100% goodbye for some of these characters. We might see them again one day. You never know, like if they do Elseworld stories or whatever, or multiverse stories.
Yeah, possibilities.
Yeah, it's just the fact that we're just freaking. Right, people are freaking out for something they don't know. Like you just don't know. Like, look, I know Max would be like, well, you don't know that.
You don't know that.
just wait for. Look, people at like DC is doom and gloom. Like, oh, you got the Batman making money.
Also,
they're still making money, so they're gonna be okay, folks. I think they're gonna be just fine. So let's just not. Okay, whatever.
I feel like we don't need a boogeyman for everything. We don't need a boogeyman for everything. Like, we've seen this story before with Kathleen Kennedy, Walter Hamada. Like, we don't need to make James Gunn a boogeyman when he's trying to fix a mess that he basically inherited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He walked into
Max
a
is apparently making it out of the. Hold on.
Look, it is what it is when it comes to that. I get the frustrations.
I do too. As I said, like, I'm frustrated that they cut my boy Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated that we possibly won't get more Shazam movies, Aquaman movies, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I'm Ben Affleck's Batman. Like, I'm as frustrated as everyone else, but like, we got to be realistic here. We got to be logical here. Like, it's really messy, the path that we were going into. So it's like, the first time in a long time, I'm actually seeing there's a good path for DC. I think we'll feel a lot better once James Gunn and Peter Safran actually tells us what they're gonna do. Once we actually hear what they gotta say next month or February, whenever they're gonna talk about it, we'll feel much more like secure about what's coming out. We're just, as we say many times, we just don't know. We don't know what they're gonna say. We don't know what they're gonna do. We're all just you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. He needs a T-shirt.
Yo, we need to get a Max T-shirt that says you don't know. You don't know. Like Dr. Doom saying you don't know.
Like, hold on.
And look, that is unfortunate because obviously that happens to all of us. We definitely don't have that much time on this earth. And look, DC will still go on even when we're gone. They'll keep telling stories, but again, there are other alternatives. Comic books, animation, video games. They'll always tell the stories you want to see. You just have to wait. And yeah, sometimes waiting is hard. And look, I hope to God you'll see that again. I hope to God we'll see that too. Superman and Darkseid fight each other, or Justice League versus Darkseid in this new DCU. If they can do that within 10 years. I hope the
Green Lantern, please.
Yeah, the Green Lantern, all that stuff. But to end it here, because I definitely am tired talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about DC right now. Let's try to talk about something different for once.
Yeah. So for the people in the chat, and obviously the people in the panel, first with the panel first, who has faith in this DCU and James Gunn? Who has faith? I have faith.
I have faith.
I have faith.
I have faith in Gunn. We trust.
Again, if we're wrong, I have no issue saying I took the L. I'll put a thumbnail with an L in my face and all that shit if I had to. But for the people in the chat, if you guys have faith, specify. Put I guess just flat out say if you have faith. If you don't have faith, then maybe it's time for you to either be proven wrong or you're proven right. But again, it's all about time because that Superman movie is not coming anytime soon. Probably like 2-3 years from now, maybe 4.
Probably.
So that's it. So that's all I have to say when it comes to that. I do have another show planned, I think in 2 days from now, and yes, the thumbnail and title is kind of like, people are gonna get mad. The topic is who killed the DCU, and I.
Oh, that was you. I thought that was Max.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
thought that was today's
I
stream.
thought
that
Max
was
was Christmas Eve at first. Like I was like, is he really gonna be talking about this on Christmas Eve?
right. I was like, dude, it's like, come on, bro. I was like,
Nope,
we're not
I had to
gonna get
pull him
into
to the
it, bro.
side and be like, listen, you need to take a break. We're going to talk about Avatar: The Way of Water tonight. We don't no DC stuff. We're talking Avatar tonight. You need a break.
And look, I love Max, but it's like we need to relax a little bit. Like we're gonna hear that slate soon, or at least the first few films of that slate soon.
Like, calm down. You're becoming a little bit of the little one cowboy dude that goes with the "What's up, kids and gamers? That's Jeremy," and all that's like you gotta
Doomcock. Come on, bro.
Doom.
X-cock.
I'm
That
surprised.
sounds wrong.
I'm
No,
surprised
no.
you're not talking about Doomcock's coverage of Henry Cavill.
Stay angry, my friends.
Oh boy.
Well,
All right, let's not get
yeah,
into
before
that. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
We're done. I'm done.
Eddie's done.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely done. I definitely am tired, but it's gonna be interesting when Max sees the replay and he sees us talking shit about him.
Oh shit.
That's all I have to say. It is what it is. Bye, everyone. Give him a chance. Remember, give him a chance. That's all it takes, a chance. Even if you don't like the Superman movie, you probably like the other stuff down the line. You just have to give him a chance. And that's all I have to say. Be positive, even when there's nothing positive to be there. Just don't be blindly positive, because you're just lying to yourself. Like certain people I know.